Can you take the biggest battleship in the game, put it behind an island, and use that island cover to tactically dominate your enemies? Well, today we're here to answer that question. Hello, I am Xarkun, and this is World of Warships Legends. In this match on the Sea of Fortune map, we are in the biggest battleship in the game, the legendary tier German behemoth, Großer Kurfürst. And we are going to use island cover to our advantage in a pretty big way. Now, this wasn't the video that I intended to release or do a commentary on today, but I'm having a bit of technical difficulties that I don't really want to explain. So, this is what you're getting today, and it is quite a good game, actually. It really does harken back to some principles that I talked about a long time ago when it comes to German battleship play, and specifically playing the Großer Kurfürst, which, let's face it, I think is the weakest of all the legendary tier battleships in the game. I mean, I say all as if there are many. There are only three, the GK, Conqueror, and Yamato. Both Conqueror and Yamato are certainly stronger than this. And does this thing need a buff? I think so. I've explained that in a previous video. You can look it up if you want and see my thoughts there. But just because I don't think this ship is as strong as it otherwise could be, that doesn't mean you can't have success in it. And these German battleships are really all about the brawl, all about the pushing in. The trick is, how do you get close enough to the enemy ships to brawl with them without dying in the process? After all, the GK, being the biggest battleship in the game, is uniquely vulnerable to getting the crap kicked out of it on the way in toward enemy ships when it's making a push. Doesn't necessarily have to do with any fault in the ship per se. I mean, it's got fantastic armor, at least around the vital parts of the ship. It also has a massive superstructure, though, the size of some cruisers in this game, I would say. And that superstructure is vulnerable to penetrations from high explosive and armor-piercing shells, and it just tends to eat a lot of damage. And being such a big ship, it's not super maneuverable, so torpedoes, even with the sonar consumable, are a concern. So, in order to move up toward enemy ships, well, islands can be your best friend. And I know a lot of people out there think islands are only for HE spamming cowardly cruisers to hide behind as they rain down golden showers upon unwilling victims, let's say, right? Well, no, islands can be your friend in a battleship as well. Oh, look at that. A YOLO Emilio coming out of his smokescreen 8 kilometers away and coming to a stop. Secondaries opening up on him, melting him, actually doing a nasty number, but it's the main guns that take him out for our first kill of the game. And now, as far as we can tell, there is no destroyer threat on this flank to worry about. Earlier in the game, a Shimakaze was spotted outside of the Alpha Cap, and if you look at the minimap, you can see the outline of that destroyer near the Alpha Cap. We've got a friendly destroyer playing around there, and I believe that destroyer is actually the Monk 52, who recently hit 1,000 subscribers on his channel, so congratulations to the Monk 52, a friend of mine, and I like to think that maybe I helped a little bit in his climb to 1,000 subscribers, but we're going to have to perform a climb of our own here in terms of climbing up into the throats of these enemies out here and shoving our 12 420mm dank AP shells down their throats. Richelieu is pushing into the cap, perhaps an inadvisable move given how he's being melted by friendly cruiser presence and chunked by yours truly, along with whatever other battleship is shooting at him. Now, there are 3 battleships out here, maybe even 4. Actually, honestly, I'm not sure how many ships are out on this flank. It is 4, yes. We can see the grayed out outlines of 2 battleships near the Bravo cap. So we don't want to directly push into these guys. There's no ship in this game that can push directly into 4 enemy battleships. We need to limit the amount of ships that can actually shoot at us, and we're going to do that by employing island cover. There is a very valuable island in this context and in this case to the right of the alpha cap. It's right in front of our ship, actually, and we're headed right for it. And that island is going to become our home, essentially, for the rest of this game. It's going to allow us to take on all 4 of these battleships one at a time. Although, I guess the key is trying to make it only 3 battleships that we have to deal with. He is sailing toward the other side of the map. We've got the guns pointed that way in anticipation of him getting spotted again, so that hopefully we can hit him hard in the broadside. But, of course, since he's unspotted, the Alabama gets spotted first, and we hit him to pretty much no avail there. 2 ricochets. Luckily, the 2 rear turrets were ready to go, aimed right at the key, and nice citadel there. So that key is looking a lot worse for wear, and if he's not paying attention to me, well, that's fine. We've got 3 other battleships. This Alabama, this whatever this is in front of us, I think it's another Großer Kurfürst, 4 kilometers away from us behind the island, and also that Richelieu, who I don't think is dead quite yet. The key has noticed us. We're giving him an unhealthy amount of broadside. We don't want to do that, but rear turrets out once again in his direction. Another citadel? No, but 8,000 damage, a respectable chunk. Großer Kurfürst on the enemy team, though, right in front of us now, and this guy is our chief concern. Finally, we've got the island to our port side, though, and that should at least obstruct the other ships from shooting at us. The Alabama certainly can't hit us. The key might be able to, but with this island here, it's going to be a little bit harder. And this GK, well, he could have hit us the whole time on our approach, but if that island weren't there. And so we use that island to take cover from him as well. This is what happens, by the way. As you can see, that Großer Kurfürst is now dead. This is what happens if you push in with the Großer Kurfürst without the benefit of having island cover or some kind of cover, without taking into account your plan for pushing. Now, unfortunately, we found ourselves in a bit of a pickle. We beached on the rock in front of us, and that Alabama is going to come around this corner. But note that he has to come around this corner in order to engage us. He can't actually shoot us. Again, island cover playing its part, limiting the amount of ships that can shoot at you, and that is essential if you want to have success in this German battleship, or really in any battleship at all. Alabama is pretty close to us. He knows we're here. We're spotted now by the air, and we're debating. Do we go forward? Do we charge out headlong and meet him? Well, note the grayed out icon of the enemy battleship on the map to the north there, who has actually just appeared. It's the Richelieu. Now, he's on low health, but that doesn't mean he doesn't still have guns. If we do push out here, we're probably not going to be giving him and the Alabama a favorable angle. A couple salvos from each of them into our broadside, well, we're only at 55,000 hit points. That could spell our doom. So we elect to keep the island between ourselves, the Alabama, the Richelieu, and even that Key, who is still alive out there. Let's just let the Alabama come to us, right? So we're going to start reversing because the Alabama is only 3 kilometers away. We are wary of the possibility that he might try to ram us. And as he comes around the corner here, is he going to give us enough broadside to take advantage of? No, he's pointing his nose in. And there go his main guns knocking out my front battery turret, which is something I really don't understand. That's another thing that maybe should be buffed on this ship, the HP of the turrets. Why on earth should they be taken out as much as they do? I don't think it's necessary, honestly. The superstructure on this ship is so massive and you can get such big chunks out of it that why does it need to be the case that it's so easy to disable the turrets? I don't know. In any case, you can see the armor there working as intended, I suppose, as some of those Alabama shells bounce off of it, but the rest of them crash into our superstructure and chunk us a little bit. we're chunking him in return too. The secondaries are singing. You can see that they're scoring some damaging hits on there to amplify our total damage count. 1122 when the big 150s, at least I think those are the 150s, hit the superstructure and penetrate it. Alabama's also taking shots from some of our teammates out there to the left, and in fact he's responding to those teammates in kind. His guns are not pointed at us. We aim at his guns with the intent of demolishing them, and we do knock one out temporarily, which is when the Alabama decides, alright, I'm going to cut my losses and go in for the ram. 1 kilometer away from us, he can make up this ground very quickly, and there are 14 seconds left on our reload. Secondaries desperately trying to burn him to a crisp, but it's not enough. Not yet. 5 seconds left until the reload. He is less than a kilometer away from us. Can we kill him in time? Yes, we can. There he goes. It only took 489 damage to send him down, and unfortunately the key gets taken out before our secondaries could finish him off. But now that engagement is essentially over, and so is this game, only 1 enemy battleship is left alive. I have no idea what it is or where it is, but this was, I think, a good example of using island cover to our advantage. Had we just pushed directly into the Charlie Cap to engage with the Alabama, the Richelieu, the enemy GK, and that key, well, I don't think we would be alive right now. But since we pushed to the west of the Charlie Cap and made a play behind that island over there, we were able to limit the amount of people who had shots on us, and therefore we were able to come out on top in this particular engagement with a little bit of help from our teammates, it should be said. And that's always nice, when your teammates are around to support you and don't completely abandon a certain flank to be overrun by the Reds. Now, where is that enemy battleship? We're not quite sure. There are only 3 minutes left to go in this game. We've done a respectable 122,000 damage, not, record-breaking amount. Got some green defender ribbons, 171 secondary hits. Certainly, your fairly good Großer Kurfürst game, and sometimes they can be hard to come by. But I know you guys appear to really like the GK, so I wanted to show this to you. And on my stream the other day, Friday actually, I showed a very, very interesting build on the GK, which I intend to feature in a commentary video. I was going to use the highlight of that game for the commentary, but I kind of potatoed on saving the footage for it, which is why you're seeing this Großer Kurfürst game today and not that one. But this one is good for different reasons. We're not using any sort of crazy, fun, unique builds in it or anything. It's just your standard Henry J. Hyde build, I believe. But the other one is very interesting, and I'll be taking that build out some more so that hopefully I can show you the results on it. In any case, this game is basically now over, and I think we will cut to the end here. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.